The girl who was taking a walk suddenly heard a noise behind her. When she turned around and fixed her eyes on the source, she saw that the peaceful forest suddenly shook violently. Realizing the danger, she grabbed her younger brother and ran away quickly. The next second, the surging flood came roaring from behind. In an instant, it completely submerged the pavilion where people used to enjoy the cool. Seeing that the flood was getting closer and closer to them, the girl hurriedly lifted her younger brother onto the trash can, and then used all her strength to push him onto the tree branch. Just in the last second before the flood arrived, the girl also managed to climb to the safe area smoothly. The siblings who had survived the disaster hugged each other tightly. They didn't know that an even greater disaster was approaching. In a certain coastal city, a terrifying tsunami tens of thousands of meters high suddenly rose, and it was approaching the city at a speed of 100 meters per second. When the overwhelming sea water rushed in wildly, even the tall buildings made of reinforced concrete collapsed in an instant, and even the bridge with a history of hundreds of years was destroyed in a flash. The terrified people began to rush into the buildings frantically, but in the end they still couldn't escape the fate of being swallowed up by the tsunami. The people who survived began to run towards the roof of the building for their lives, but with their speed it was impossible to escape. So in the blink of an eye they were all submerged in the stairwell. After the tsunami passed, the whole city was submerged in a vast expanse of water. Subsequently, a cosmic storm triggered by the sun began to sweep across the globe. The huge city was destroyed in an instant. In the end, only Superman survived on the Earth, and all of this was caused by aliens. In order to occupy the Earth, the aliens prepared 5 waves of deadly attacks. The first wave was to cut off all the electrical equipment on the Earth. The cars on the road began to lose control one after another and crashed into the roadside, and even the airplanes in the sky fell towards the ground due to loss of power. After losing electricity, humanity seemed to have returned to the primitive society. The second wave of attack was the fierce tsunami. Before humanity could react, the aliens controlled all the birds around the world, and then used them to spread diseases all over the world. Since the virus came from an unknown civilization, humans couldn't get effective treatment. After 3 waves of attacks, half of the world's population had been claimed. Fortunately, there were still many immune people among humanity. They established an isolation zone in a hidden place.